Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mila, you're my book nook, and today we're doing the long-awaited, very late Mid-Year Book Freakout Tag. So, the Mid-Year Book Freakout Tag is this tag that literally everyone and the mothers in the book community do every single year. No, I don't want Copilot, good lord. And it's a fun tag. It's just to sort of check in halfway through the year how the year is going, all the book goals that you have that you may or may not have accomplished, and all. Wow, this is getting hot already. Yikes. So yeah, I took a bit of a break from YouTube again. It's just a lot. It's a lot. So I finally have enough energy. Well, do I have enough energy? I don't know. I finally have a semblance of enough energy to film this, so here we are. If I look over here, I am mirroring my phone, so I'm actually using the back camera because it's better quality, so I'm just, if I'm looking down, wow, look at that. You'll hear that? That is a jet engine about to take off. So yeah, the cute post version is available on my Instagram, and yeah. So, as I said, everyone and their mothers on booktube does this tag every year. This is my second time doing it. I've been on booktube for like 3 years, I don't even know. It's really hot. All of a sudden, like what the hell? Also, I took my hair down because I had it up for the majority of the day. But yeah, so I will put the questions down below. You can answer them in the comments. If you would like, please do. Signals to the YouTube algorithm that you like my video. So yeah, so without further ado, welcome to the channel and let's get to it. The first question is best book you read so far. In this case, I'm gonna put S like brackets because I have 3 books for this actually. The first book I would say the best book so far that I've read this year is The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas, and for reference, this is I finished this, by the way. This is finished. I have finished this. I just didn't finish tabbing it because I got lazy at the end. But this is my read, done and dusted, tried and true copy of The Count of Monte Cristo. So that's that. Whoa. Okay. Yikes. Not that it does anything, but it's cute. Whew, it is hot. And then the second and third places, respectfully. The second place is The Geographer's Map to Romance by India Holton. Love that book. It was so good. It was fantastic. Just chef's kiss. India Holton has this really unique writing style that just works in book format, because usually you'd think that this humor, sort of this narrator with a quip, it would work very well for TV shows or movies. So it's giving My Lady Jane, sort of the narrator that the series My Lady Jane has, and it works so well. Yeah, and then the third book would be, the third place would be Legend Board by Tracy Dion. I didn't really explain what these are about, but I feel like I don't really necessarily need to. Count of Monte Cristo is the ultimate revenge story. It's over 1,000 pages, and it actually, apparently, according to some articles, it actually is based on a real true life story of someone escaping the Chateau d'If and then coming back a rich man and enacting revenge on those that wronged him. The Geographer's Map to Romance follows Elodie and Gabriel, who are in this marriage of inconvenience, so to speak, and they're technically like not on speaking terms. They're also professors of like a very niche thing in geography. So they get called to like this tiny town to investigate a tornado. Yeah, and Legend Born follows our main character, Bree Matthews, who discovers that she's part of a long line of people with magic, and it's a King Arthur inspired retelling. So it was fantastic. I would highly recommend. The second question is best sequel you've read so far. I am notorious for starting trilogies, getting to like the second book and then never finishing them. So in this case, I did finish the trilogy. It's actually a quartet because the fourth book isn't out yet. But I would say that Bloodmarked was the best sequel I read so far. How do I say this? I'd like Oathbound, but I think as far as sequels go, because we didn't know that Oathbound was going to exist, Bloodmarked is definitely my favorite out of the 3. Is it technically? It's not even a sequel. Technically not even a sequel. So yeah, the next question is new releases you haven't read yet but want to. So I have 6 on here and I own none of them. No, that's a lie. I have an art copy of one of them. So the first one is Joe Abercrombie's The Devils. I'm currently reading Before They Are Hanged, which is the second book in the First Law trilogy. And I am going to go through like all his books before getting to The Devils, so it might take me a minute. But yeah, I haven't really been in the reading mood. I've been all over the place. But anyways, The Devils. Then we have The Floating World by Axio. This is... the cover got me. The cover got me real bad, honestly. That's all I can say, really. Then I have the one that I actually have a copy of, which is Raven Scholar. I'm not going to grab it because my tablet's on it, by Antonia Hodgson. I have heard every single person, and their mothers, no, okay. I've heard a lot of people rave about this book, and one of my friends, forget which twin I was talking to, but one of my twin friends, which I knew 2 pairs of twins. If I had a penny for every time I knew a pair of twins, I'd have 2 pennies, which isn't a lot, but anyways. One of them said that it was fantastic. I think both of them agreed, so both of them said it was fantastic. And then we have Vaishnavi Patel's 10 Incarnations of Rebellion. One of my other twin friends, Sidra, specifically, shout out to you, girl, read this one and loved it. And I do have Kaikei, which I also haven't read, and I really want to read her other book. What was her other book? The water, something with the water goddess of the river. Something like that. It looks cool. I don't know, it just looks cool. So there's that. Then we have Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales, which I still haven't read. Whoops! And then we have This Monster of Mine by Shalini Abeysakara. I apologize if I mispronounced your name. I actually had to zoom in because font is so small. This is like, I think it's like Roman Empire something, with like the male love interest being like this notorious, I don't even remember. That is a good question. That would be a good thing to search up, sort of, maybe. I don't know. It just looks really cool. The cover looks really cool, and I'm always down to support a Canadian author. So, okay, so she's a prosecutor who can magically detect lies, and then Kadra is the most vicious of the 4 judges who ruled the land, and a prime suspect in a string of deaths identical to Sarai's attempted murder. Okay, cool. That's that. Question number 4, most anticipated releases for the second half of the year, because I never have one singular release that I'm excited for. So we have The Griffin King by Sarah Omer. I had an arc of this, but then it got, like, archived a month before. Anyways, it was a weird situation, but anyways. Then we have The Strength of the Few by James Arlington. Doi. We have Dawn of the Firebird by Sarah Mughal Rana, who's Citra's twin sister. I'm telling y'all, something with the There's literally been a pair of twins in like every single part of my life. There were a pair of twins in my elementary like class, right? Grade 4, 5, and 6 was just one class because I was in French immersion. And then we moved here, and then there was, okay, they weren't twins. It was a triplet, but I was with the 2 girls that were like twins, right? Technically triplets, because third one's a boy, but I wasn't even aware they were a triplet because he doesn't look like them, obviously. And then there was another pair of twins, that too. And then in high school, there was a pair of twins, but they were fraternal twins because they were boy-girl. But they did have quite a... I don't even know if they were fraternal twins because they were boy-girl. But anyways, they did have quite a lot of similar features. And I do know a pair of twins. So, 3 pairs of twins, actually. Yeah, 3 pairs of twins. Although, I don't really talk to one of the pairs of twins as much. But anyways. And then we have Catabasis. I literally could not care less about how you want me to pronounce this, by R.F. Kwong. Thank you, and we shall keep going. And the 5th question is biggest disappointment. I had nothing below a 4-star this year so far. Knock on wood, I guess? Wood? I don't know. Is anything in here wood? So yeah, I haven't had any disappointments, thankfully. I just got it's a little better. There we go. So, no disappointments, surprisingly. Last year I had a couple of disappointments. 6 biggest surprises, because we all know I can't choose one book for these questions. We have Deathless by Catherine M. Valente. Fantastic retelling of the tale of Maria Morena. and set in the backdrop of sort of the Soviet Union. Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinneman is probably the biggest surprise because I am not a game person at all. Like, staring at a screen, the most I can do is maybe Mario Kart or like one of those racing games. I can't do anything else. Then we have Icefields by Thomas Wharton, which was another big surprise, but I'm telling you right now, Dungeon Crawler Carl, by far the biggest surprise. This was an interesting book because it's set in Canada, so it was really interesting to see Canada, like a different part of Canada that I've never been to, I've only heard of, I've only learned about in like school, like in 5 minutes, you know, over the course of 5 minutes. But this was a really interesting look into the development of Jasper. It's not Jasper. Icefields, like Banff? No. Icefields, Thomas Wharton. It was like in the Canadian Rockies, and it's just really interesting book. And I don't know how to really describe him. It's like, yeah, it has this framework of a tourist guidebook. It looks like a tourist guidebook because of the dimensions, but anyways, it's a really interesting book, so I'd highly recommend it. Another one is Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. How do I say this? I am not a romance reader, but this year I wanted to get out of my comfort zone. And so I chose 3 books randomly that I thought I would like and that like other booktubers I watched liked. And one of them was Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez, and this came from Carrie Can Read. And she said that this was by far like her favorite, like one of her favorite Abby Jimenez books and everything. She put it at like the top of her romance tier ranking list. I was like, okay, why not? Like, let's go. Cool. And yeah, I really enjoyed this one. This is a really cute romance. Go into it blind, I think. That's the best way to put it. Go into all of these blind. Well, maybe for Deathless, read a couple like articles or something about the Soviet Union and stuff, and Maria Morevna and Cachet the Deathless and everything, but otherwise you can go into all of these pretty blindly. And then the last one I have is The Wolf Girl, The Greeks and the Gods, which is literally right behind me. I did this on audiobook, so this was a totally different experience, which I would highly recommend. And this is a retelling of a certain section of like the Persian Wars, notably the Battle of Thermopylae, I believe. And yeah, we follow Princess Gorgo, who was a real life figure. And she was the wife of Leonidas the First, I believe. And you have like historical, like, you know, the Persian kings and stuff like that. And yeah, really fantastic, really cool way to weave in the gods and sort of local legends, so to speak, like sort of, oh, the girls in Athens turn into bears or something like that, you know, or the girls from Sparta, like some of the people from Sparta turn into wolves, you know, hence Wolf Girl. But yeah, it was so good. It was fantastic. 7th question is favorite new author, debut, or new to you, and obviously I include more than one author. Number 1 is Tracy Dion. Loved her stuff. I need more. She has this phenomenal writing style, and the way she expertly weaves American history and just everything is remarkable, you know. And the way that she writes grief, yeah, I cried at the beginning of Legend of Morgan. Full on sobbing, by the way, full on sobbing, and you don't see me doing that at all, ever. Well, not very often at least, but that one, for some reason, it just got me. The next one I have is Emma Wong, who's the author of Blood Over Bright Haven. I do have sort of Kaigen on my shelf. I still haven't read it, but Blood Over Bright Haven was incredibly interesting. I think it was phenomenal. I think it did a lot of the things I expected it to do, and I didn't expect it to do, because what the hell was that ending? Excuse me. But I'm really glad it got like picked up. Like, that's amazing. And then obviously Nia Holton with The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love, which is the first book to the Love's academic series, which is like Geographer's Map to Romance is part of that. It's the second book. I think I like Geographer's Map to Romance a bit more than Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love. But you know which one I will like? Antiquarians, right? What is the word? Antiquarians. Object of Desire. So hey, Berkeley Romance, if you wanna hook me up, you know? Yeah, so that one's like a enemies to lovers or whatever. Moving on. Eighth question. Good lord, we are not on the 8th book. 8th question is newest fictional crush, and that is Gabriel Tarrant from the Geographer's Map to Romance. He has glasses and he rolls up his like sleeves. Yeah. Number 9. Newest favorite character. I, again, did more than one character. I did read Sunrise on the Reaping. I don't know when that vlog is gonna come out. I don't know if it is gonna come out because, yeah, I don't know if it's gonna come out. We'll see what happens. Haymitch definitely became a new favorite character for me. I read the books when I was younger. I reread them 2 years ago because Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes movie came out and I wanted to read it before I watched it, and then I ended up watching the movie and then finishing the book. Anyways, that was the whole thing. I do have a vlog on my channel, although I don't think I included Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I did enjoy Ballad, but it's not my favorite book because Snow is awful. But Haymitch definitely became a new favorite character in the Hunger Games world. And from Dungeon Crawler Carl, wow, say that 5 times fast. We have both Carl and Princess Donut are pretty hilarious. And also the AI is kind of hilarious. But anyways. Question number 10, a book that made you cry. And I wrote almost in like brackets. And that is Sunrise on the Reaping. It almost made me cry. I was almost in tears, okay? It's close. Close enough. Question number 11, books that made you happy. I'm just gonna list them off and not really explain what they're about. Pride and Prejudice. Oh my god. Yours truly by Abby Jimenez. The Ornithologist Field Guide to Love. Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief. I did reread book 1 and book 2. And The Geographer's Map to Romance. I feel like all of these are self-explanatory. 12. Most beautiful book you've bought this year. It's not a special edition, but I did buy this beautiful omnibus edition of The Lord of the Rings. And I'm really, really excited to reread the trilogy this year. And question number 13 is books you need to read by the end of the year. You see these bookshelves. There's your answer. And the next question is number 14, favorite book to movie adaptation. I haven't watched any adaptations like at all. So I'm going to, and when I was making this, I hadn't seen the live action How to Train Your Dragon. So I'm going to stick with my original answer and I'm going to say the animated How to Train Your Dragon is absolute perfection, no notes. Second one is even better. Absolute perfection, no notes. That's all. Thank you. Moving on. And that is it. I'm so happy I finally sat down and made the same video because it's been like hovering over my head for the past like several weeks. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it came out late. I had no energy. I still have no energy, but I hope you enjoyed this video. Do the usual, like, subscribe, comment, and follow me on all my socials, and I will see you in the next one.